My name is Inesha Garland, and I'm a prevention educator for the YWCA Stepping Stones program. If you're watching this video, that means you have decided to join us for our virtual version of our annual event, Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. If this is your first time hearing about Stepping Stones, let me tell you about our amazing program. Stepping Stones is McLean County's Rape Crisis Center. We are a victim-centered program that offers some amazing services to the survivors of sexual assault. We offer advocacy through support at hospitals and through the criminal justice system. We offer counseling, and we offer prevention education at schools, corporations, and through local businesses. Every 73 seconds, sexual assault affects men, women, and non-binary. That's our mothers, sisters, brothers, friends, and people that we hold close and dear to us. Sexual assault is a violent act about power and control. And even though it affects everyone, it is often a fight that women fight alone. Did you know that 3 out of 4 sexual assaults go unreported? 20% of victims don't report because they fear retaliation. 8% believe that what happened to them was not important enough to report. 13% believe that the police would not do anything. Imagine a world where survivors of sexual assaults did not feel alone. Imagine a world where survivors felt supported by their communities. Imagine a world where survivors didn't have to be survivors, because as a community, we stood together against sexual violence. The month of April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. It is our opportunity to share the importance of our fight against sexual assault with you. It is also your opportunity to stand with us and to fight with us. So we are calling all men to join us in this event to walk a mile in their shoes. We had the amazing opportunity to work with the Bloomington Police Department on this event. Today we have Kyle Nowers with us, showing his support for how he takes a stand in this community to fight against violence and injustice. We want to thank him for all he has done to support this event in past years and for joining us this year as we take this event to the net. So, help me welcome Officer Nowers.
Hello, my name is Kyle Nowers. I'm a sergeant with the Bloomington Police Department and also a lifelong resident of Bloomington Normal. I want to thank first the YWCA and Stepping Stones for putting this entire event together, and also specifically Kelsey Langheim, who is the program director for Stepping Stones. Thank her for her hard work and leadership in all of this, and also for honoring me with being able to speak to you here today. I want to thank everyone because these are difficult times with this weird pandemic, and everyone's still making it a priority for what you're being here today and showing up trying to take an active role in ending sexual violence, and I thank you for that. This is important because everybody is struggling right now due to the effects of the pandemic. We're all struggling, whether it's physically, financially, or it's just the stress and the anxiety that comes along with such uncertainty and confusing times. By taking this time today, you've shown that you're one of those people who, even though when times are personally difficult, you still find a way and some time to try and help others, which makes you exceptional, so thank you. I know when dealing with large issues like sexual assault, it can often feel overwhelming. It can lead to kind of feelings of hopelessness, despair. You might be thinking, I'm just one person, what can somebody like me do? But It's always been that way. Basically, that it takes one person. That's how all change begins, is that it begins with one person deciding that I'm going to do something because I'm just one cop in a small town. Or maybe you are just a teacher, a student, or a worker, whatever it is, and you're thinking, what can I do? But it's exactly that kind of person that shows the courage and the moral fiber to stand up for believing what's right. And you've decided that you are going to take that chance. And that's how others find strength, by seeing what you do, and then it gives them the courage to join in as well. One of my favorite quotes is by a self-help author by the name of Napoleon Hill, who said that if you can't do great things, do small things, but in a great way. And by just involving yourself here today in this very small way, you're doing something very small, but in a very great way. So you should feel good about that. Thank you. If you happen to catch my speech at this event last year, you might recall me mention a couple of statistics that I think still bear repeating. At least 90% of all sexual assaults are committed by men. The victims of those sexual assaults, though, are both women and men, boys and girls. But a recent Department of Justice study found that all of the rape prevention classes that they have, or all the rape prevention things that they put together in the programs, only 8% of those are actually designed for men. So in other words, even our rape prevention and the education programs that are put together are putting almost the entire burden on women to solve this problem. Obviously, that's something that must change. It can no longer be considered enough that men simply not be rapists. Men have to take an active role in being anti-rape. Men have to be active allies in this war to end sexual violence. I personally became a police officer because I like to help people, and I wanted to help protect people. I firmly believe that it is the responsibility of the strong to protect those who don't have as much power. And some of you might be out there thinking, well, I don't really consider myself a physically strong person, and that's fine, because strength comes in all kinds of shapes and sizes, in all forms. So I think it's also the responsibility of those to protect those who have, if you have financial power, or intellectual power, or political power, and even influential power. At its core, sexual assault is not about sex, it's about power, and abuse of power. And I also want to take this opportunity right now to dispel a recent myth that masculinity is under attack. It's not. Masculinity is simply evolving to include the following. 1, don't harass or bully people that are different than you. And then 2, be kind and empathetic towards people who are different than you. That's it. There's a quote when President Obama was actually asked almost this exact type of question about this subject, and he put it beautifully.
I think all of us have to recognize that being a man is first and foremost being a good human. And that means being responsible, being reliable, working hard, being kind, being respectful, being compassionate. And the notion that somehow defining yourself as a man is dependent on, are you able to put somebody else down instead of lifting them up? Are you able to dominate as opposed to support?
I teach a class myself for fellow police officers on de-escalation. The cornerstone of this class is to have empathy. That means having the ability to see the world through the eyes of another. If officers take time to understand what our diverse collection of citizens both want and need, then we have a much better chance to finding productive and peaceful outcomes. Men and boys should also still be encouraged to be courageous, strong, and brave. But there's a lot of ways to display those positive characteristics. For instance, it takes courage to be willing to share intimate feelings with a partner or your friends. And those can leave you both vulnerable and exposed. But I think that if you find the courage to do that, I can promise you that you are going to have much closer and more positive personal relationships. It also takes strength to be a father, a coach, a teacher that makes a conscious choice to raise boys that will respect girls, women, and members of our LGBTQ community. And it's also brave to confront our friends, teammates, coworkers, friends who make sexist or sexually violent or homophobic jokes and comments. Now, I am a big fan of the Harry Potter series, always have been, and as the great and wise Albus Dumbledore once said,
"It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to your enemies, but a great deal more to stand up to your friends."
we have to create a peer culture climate where this type of abuse is seen as both unacceptable, and not only because it's illegal, but because it's immoral. The greatest resource we have is people who care. People who encourage others to care and will never stop trying to educate others to improve the world all around us. I want to thank you for all of you for sharing some of your very precious time with me here today and with Stepping Stones and YWCA. I leave you with this very short quote from a famous speech by Robert F. Kennedy that I find very inspiring. It's titled, "A Ripple of Hope."
Each time a man stands up for an ideal, or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope, and crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance.
Thanks again. Be careful out there, and please keep fighting the good fight.
Now, it's time for you to take a stand. With our event going virtual, there are a few things that will change this year, but the impact that we want to have on the community is the same. Allie Johnson, our program specialist at Stepping Stones, is going to explain how you can get involved.
Every year we have an event, a walk a mile, and we always ask all men to come and wear the red shoes and wear a shirt and walk a mile uptown Normal. This year, we are asking of you men to be able to wear at least your shirt. And if you're not able to get heels, that's okay. But if you are, that would be amazing as well. If you could also just take a picture, a selfie, take a video of yourself walking in your shirt and your heels, that is what we're asking for this year of Walk a Mile. If you're still needing a shirt, we will get you a shirt, and we will have you register online at ywcamclean.org/walkamile2020. Again, it's ywcamclean.org/walkamile2020. Once again, thank you so much for participating in our event. Now we are going to show you a few tips on how to walk in heels. Tip 1, walk heel to toe. Tip 2, standing still. While standing still, place weight on heels using toes for balance. Try not to wobble, but if you do start to fall, try to recover gracefully and roll it out with confidence. Tip 3, walking on steps. When climbing stairs, make sure both sole and heel land together firmly. When descending stairs, only the sole of the shoe needs to be planted on each step, but we can avoid the stairs. Tip 4, keeping a great balance and posture is the key. Keeping a mindfulness of every step you take and looking forward as you go. Let's give a hand for Nastasha.
This year, you can do your virtual walk anytime between now and April 30th. And you get to decide where you take that walk. So whether it's around your neighborhood or in your backyard, you can even do it from your kitchen. All we need is for you to take a photo in your t-shirt, post it on social media, and then use one of our event hashtags. So some options would be hashtag walk a mile in her shoes or hashtag Sam2020. Guess what, guys? Our first responders have already started you off. Let's check out their photos. want to thank them so much for participating and Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. Now it's your turn. So go to that website, get registered, and you know what? Challenge your friends to join along with you, because we are so excited to see your photos and your videos, and most importantly, watching you guys have fun while supporting a great cause.